So yesterday, Carlos King made his way to Huntsville, Alabama to meet Miss Shari Rogers. And when I tell you, the millimeters showed up and showed out, you guys. That line was wrapped around the building.
It's just like the
Well, he got that right. The Queen of Huntsville, Miss Melodyshari Rogers. But you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to a little bit of some of the conversation that occurred. Shout out to one of the millimeters who shared this information. But take a listen to what Carlos King had to say about Martell'S and the lies that he told about the scene between him and Melody. They also talked about Martell's arrest and more. Take a listen.
Okay, nor did I say get flowers from the frozen food section. Nor did I feed him lines, because the other thing that was in there were actors. And that's the shit that pissed me off. I'm gonna tell you why. You can say what you want about me. One thing about me, I'm the child of God, so I only care about what the men I serve think about me, right? But don't do that to the integrity of my production, because my producers leave their hometown, their family, their kids to come to Huntsville to make sure that this cast has a great show. So don't do that to me, nor my production. And more importantly, don't do that to the cast. Okay, I'm not Tyler Perry, Shonda Rhimes, David Duchovny, Will Packer. You know what I mean? I don't have, this is no shade to me, I don't have the mental intelligence to create something out of thin air and say, hey, Melody, so when you go in there, girl, you're going to say this, you're going to say, I got coins to make, not friends to fake, honey. Yes! I'm not that bright. When it comes to that, I follow the reality. So that was disgusting to me because it's not true. And I was disappointed because there's history here. Like, the reason why we have a Love and Marriage Huntsville is because they came to me wanting to do a show. And then collectively, we talked about what it could be. So there is history there. And I'm going to be very honest, my heart was broken because it's one thing for you to be mad that at that time is how you felt. Don't throw me into the mix. And don't do it to the point where now you're having people question my integrity. Right? Okay, hold on, baby girl. My sweetie. Okay? So then I did speak to Melody. I mean, I'm like, did I miss something? And the thing for me more so was, it just wasn't true. Like, it was true, I'll say, okay, but it just wasn't true. So when you saw that, what went through your mind? Because, again, I said this earlier, you take the show very seriously. And there's no acting on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, these other reality shows, child, they're Go ahead, boo.
My reaction was, y'all ready? Yeah. You gotta go. Because I know too how much you care about this show, how hard you work on this show as well. And me knowing that I had just gotten 10 dozen roses a few months before that. Okay. like sent to my home from him, the flowers like stop. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody told you to send me 10 dozen roses. You know what I mean? So I hated that he did it that way and made it seem as if you told him to do that. I didn't for once think you told him to do that. The reason I felt he gotta go is because outside of my personal feelings because of the attacks that I received, the show as a whole, whenever you have him, his, I don't know what I should call a significant information pertaining to scenes, pertaining to, I still remember when you came into Huntsville last season and met with us, and it was blasted by, and it had to come from him, and it was Carlos is here, and now my name came up, and I was felt I'm too disrespect. It's just a lie, and at some point, when do you start making people take accountability for their role? Because people can say all day that like the millimeters do this, the millimeters do that. Well, if people would stop doing things, the millimeters wouldn't have nothing to be commenting over. And so what did make the show, the reunion, I don't think because I still gotta watch part 3, but I don't think it because I ain't seen it in the clip, was so many people on that stage came for the millimeters. I'm sure you remember that part. And I stood up for the millimeters. I was like, hold up, y'all ain't about to put let me give y'all my exact words since y'all all in the building together. I said, y'all ain't about to put everything on the millimeters. I said, let me tell y'all something. Did y'all forget how the millimeters came about? The millimeters came about because every one of y'all got on this stage right now, started attacking me as a unit. And I said, so when I said she's not about to stand by herself, we gon' back her, we got her back, sis, go on coming for her. Like, let's not, you did I say?
You did. The millimeters was on top of the conversation.
Yes, I did. And one of the cast members, she sat there and said, no, I don't feel like everybody was attacking me. And I said, you a fool if you want to sit there like you didn't see everybody attacking me. That's another story. That part too, I do. And so, you know, I just feel that what I desire to see, I do feel like this season was lighter, so kudos to you. I feel like you worked hard to make sure it was a lighter season. Did y'all feel like it was lighter this season?
The best reunion. It was I loved it. It was funny.
Yeah.
Shout out to my production team back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was much lighter, and I think that where we're trying to go in our conversation, what we envision for the next 10 seasons to come, I'm gonna put that and speak that and put that out there, is for us to have not only a cast, but also the production piece of it that really wants to see us getting back to business. And then we're gonna have drama here and there. Y'all know we have to have that reality with reality TV, but I think at the heart of it, we both agree, like, we gotta get back to the business. And with that, sometimes comes tough decisions. And I shared with Carlos, I said, Carlos, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I said, you pray. I said, and what you do when you pray, you sit back and you wait and let God show you and give you the answer. And I noticed 2 things happened back to back right after that. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, got Carlos home. I know you lying. I know you lying. Ain't okay, got Carlos home.
I got it. No, you know. Okay. Y'all are crazy. Something else that came out was the arrest of your ex-husband. Okay. arrested. Where were you? I'm happy New Year, Lord Jesus. Where were you when you found that out?
I was actually at home preparing for a scene for your show. No, stars.
She really was.
I was at home getting glammed up for a scene. You know, I understand everyone's feeling of somewhat of like the vindication, right? And just the it's about time. And for me, believe it or not, while I'm there too, it also wasn't a matter that was fun for me. It was not, I wasn't at home cheering and laughing and like, oh yay, no, I wasn't. And Lauren is here. She was at the house with me doing my makeup and she can attest to this. I was actually, you know, for one, I was wondering about my children. Let's keep it above. Any mama out there knows that's the first thing. It's like, where my kids at though? Like, how are my kids? Where are they?
And not to cut you off, she's telling the truth. I called her to check in on her, and she was frazzled. And she said, Carlos, thank you for calling me, checking on me, but I'm worried about my kids. I need to find my kids. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I will say that, and my brother says this about me too, because he's like, I bet if he had came to you and apologized, knowing you and how your heart is, you probably would have forgave him and never even filed a sign the warrant. And he may be a little right, but maybe not. But what I will say is, anytime you have to go through with making such a tough decision that you know impacts your children as well, that's always tough, man. That's always tough. But I think there had been just so many transgressions, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And no matter how many times I sat back at times and tried to keep my mouth closed and see, you know, you think if I don't say nothing, it'll die down. They'll leave me alone, just please leave me alone. But I also have a breaking point too, where I'm like, okay, they ain't leaving me the hell alone. And so, I did say that. And so, you know, when I made that decision, it was back in August, September of last year, sorry, we're in 2023. I actually flew Lauren in, and I said, I gotta go do this, and I need somebody to be here with me to make sure I do what I know I need to do. So she was like, all right, I'm on my way. And she flew in and drove me, because I've never gone and had to, you know, sign for a warrant, press charges, do any of that. So I didn't even really know where to begin. I was just hitting places. She drove me to those places, gave, you know, the strength of her, my mom, my team. They knew what I was doing in the moment. And when the magistrate said, when I showed him the evidence, and he was like, do you want a warrant? I said, yes, I do. He said, all right, I'm about to go get you a warrant. That was August. Somebody said you should have did it for both of them. Well, let me tell you why that part for that doesn't work for both parties, because it's based on, legally wise, it's another piece, but the lawsuit wise, it's another piece. The warrant, the direct piece has to come from exactly from that person. So, the source, right? And so, after that, when I filed it and said sign it, and it was signed, I'll be honest with y'all, my attorney said to me, hey, listen, you know his address. All we gotta do is get a PI, make the call, and tell him when he's home, they can go pick him up. Me being me, I said I believe in divine timing. I'm not doing all of that. Now, I've done my step, I'm gonna let God do the other one whenever he says so. So, I sat around all those months, wondering, I know it's out there though, but I mean, they flying and stuff, but I mean, I don't know, but it's out there. And lo and behold, Carlos, after talking to you about prayer and letting God show you, And it wasn't me. I didn't make a call. You know, if you have a warrant and you go to certain places trying to get certain things, that pops up. And that's what happened.
I know we're all like laughing and joking, we're having a good time, and I do love that. But I really want the world to know how deep this is for you, because at the end of the day, Melody, this is a man who proposed to you on your college graduation day. You have 4 kids by this man, and obviously you were madly in love. You guys were a power couple. You guys were a power couple in the city. You guys built this foundation, and your kids are wonderful. Did you ever think, Melody, in a million years, that your life would end up this way, to where you would even have to do that to somebody who's the father of your kids? Like, were there moments like, you know?
Never would have imagined that, but I will say along the way the telltale signs became present. And especially hindsight is everything, right? So sometimes when you get out of a situation, you're able to reflect and see clearly maybe the things you missed or that you overlooked or you didn't pay attention to. And so when I look back at it now and see how he handled other situations with other people, the lack of maturity, you know, just the inability to just be a full-blown man. You know, where it's like, you know what, we didn't work out, but you know what, I'm going to leave her alone because I messed up. It is what it is, right? Let me just leave her alone. I never thought that I would be wishing that I had my children by somebody else. And that's where I am. And I shared that, you know, with my family, like, dang, like, why ain't had these kids by somebody else? Because it just keeps going, and it's just going, and it's just going. And it's like, when is enough enough? And when do we stop funding the madness? That's the other concern. Like, when do we stop funding the madness? When is, you know, I'm doing this interview with you, Carlos, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't remember the last time I sat down and even did an interview. Like, real talk. So I film for the show, but I'm not out here thinking of ways to degrade people and come at people and everybody interview me so I can talk down about everybody. I ain't on that kind of time. Like, life is too short. Life is too short. I got too much in my purpose to be focusing on that's not my focus. So when I have this person that continuously attacks, it becomes a lot. And I don't know if you know that, but fortunately this networks, I have my own therapist. She's here tonight in the audience. Dominique is somewhere here, but OWN gives us therapists as well. And so I've had conversations with them too, you know, about where I am and how I'm feeling. I will say this, one thing that you did do is anytime I had a scene, you made sure security was there. So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, the thing is this, I always want to make sure that anybody who's associated with the kingdom feels safe. And that feels and looks differently for every person, right? And that's the reason why, again, you and I have personal conversations. And the one thing that you're a very strong woman, right? And you have this strength that is just so magnificent that I sometimes wonder, like, where did she get it from?
So I'm going to stop right there, but what are your thoughts about what was discussed in this video with Melody and Carlos King? Sound off in the comments below. And are you surprised, or no, I think what I'm going to say, we're not surprised that he said Martell lied about that scene between him and Melody. And also let me know what you think about some of what Melody commented on. I thank you all for watching and listening, and I will talk to you in the next video. Please give this a thumbs up and be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from What's Happening.